Vanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna everybody. Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna, the assembled Vaishnavas in Kansas City and online. I don't see all of you, but I see some of you there in Kansas City. Hare Krishna to everybody there in the temple room. Okay, so tonight we'll be studying from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, text 40, which I will pull up here on the screen. So it might be a little delayed, chanting together, but we'll just try our best. Okay, so chapter 4, text 40. Agyascha shadadanascha Sangshayatma vinashiti Nayam lokosti na paro Nasukam Sangshayatmanaha. Translation. But ignorant and faithless persons who doubt the revealed scriptures do not attain God consciousness. For the doubting soul, there is happiness neither in this world nor in the next. Text 41. Yoga sangyasta karmanam dhyana samchina sangshyayam atmavantam na karmani nibbadhanti dhananjaya. Therefore, one who has renounced the fruits of his action, whose doubts are destroyed by transcendental knowledge, and who is situated firmly in the self, is not bound by works, O conqueror of riches. Text number 42. Tasmada jnana sambhutam hridstam jnanasinatmana chitvainam sankshayam yogam atishtotishtha bharata. Translation. Therefore, the doubts which have arisen in your heart out of ignorance should be slashed by the weapon of knowledge, armed with yoga, O Bharata, stand and fight. Text number 1 of the 5th chapter, Action and Krishna Consciousness. Karma Yoga, Action and Krishna Consciousness. Arjuna Vacha. Sanyasam karmanam Krishna, punar yogam chasankshasi, yachtraya etiorekam tanme bruhi sudnishchitam. Translation. Arjuna said, O Krishna, first of all, you asked me to renounce work, and then again you recommend work with devotion. Now will you kindly tell me definitely which of the two is more beneficial? Text 2. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Sanyasa Karma Yogascha Nishrayasya Karavavo Tayostu Karma Sanyasat Karma Yogo Vishishyate. The Blessed Lord said, the renunciation of work and work in devotion are both good for liberation. But of the two, work in devotional service is better than renunciation of works. Okay. Text number 3. Kaya sanitya sanyasi yona dveshti na kankshati nirdvandvo hi mahabaho sukham bandhat pramuchate. Translation. One who neither hates nor desires the fruits of his activities is known to be always renounced. Such a person, liberated from all dualities, easily overcomes material bondage and is completely liberated, O mighty armed Arjuna. Text number 4. Sankhya yagyo pratagbala pravadanti na pandita ekam yapastita samyag uvayor vindate padam. Oops. Is that right? Oh, Krishna. Sorry, I lost the. That was 5-4. It's not loading. Okay. Looks like I'm gonna have to use my book here. One second. Okay. Only the ignorant speak of karma yoga and devotional service as being different from the analytical study of the material world. Sankhya. Those who are actually learn to say that he who applies himself well to one of these paths achieves the results in both. Text number 5. Yat sankhyae prapyate stanam tad yogir apigam yate ekam sankhyam cha yogam cha yapashyati sapashyati. Translation. One who knows that the position reached by means of enunciation can also be attained by works in devotional service, and therefore sees the path of works and the path of renunciation are one, sees things as they are. Text 6. Sanyastu mahabaho dukkam aptum ayogata yoga yukto munir brahma na chirena gacchati. Unless one is engaged in the devotional service of the Lord, mere renunciation of activities cannot make one happy. The sages, purified by works of devotion, achieve the supreme without delay. Text number 7. Yoga yukto vishuddhatma vijitatma jitendriya sarva bhutatma bhutatma kurvanapi na lipyate. One who works in devotion, who is a pure soul, and who controls his mind and senses, is dear to everyone. Everyone is dear to him, though always working. Such a man is never entangled. Okay, well, I said I was reading till 8, but since it's 8 through 9, we'll just stop there. It's 7. So we'll go back to text 40 of the 4th chapter. Okay, so, but ignorant and faithless persons who doubt the revealed scriptures do not attain God consciousness. For the doubting soul, there is happiness neither in this world nor in the next. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Out of many standard and authoritative revealed scriptures, the Bhagavad Gita is the best. Persons who are almost like animals have no faith in or knowledge of the standard revealed scriptures. And some, even though they have knowledge of or can cite passages from the revealed scriptures, have actually no faith in these words. And even though others may have faith in scriptures like Bhagavad Gita, they do not believe in or worship the personality of God as Sri Krishna. Such persons cannot have any standing in Krishna consciousness. They fall down. Out of all the above mentioned persons, those who have no faith and are always doubtful make no progress at all. Men without faith in God and his revealed word find no good in this world nor in the next. For them there is no happiness whatsoever. One should therefore follow the principles of revealed scriptures with faith and thereby be raised to the platform of knowledge. Only this knowledge will help one become promoted to the transcendental platform of spiritual understanding. In other words, doubtful persons have no status whatsoever in spiritual emancipation. One should therefore follow in the footsteps of great acharyas who are in the disciplic succession and thereby attain success. But ignorant and faithless persons who doubt the revealed scriptures do not attain God consciousness. For the doubting soul, there is happiness neither in this world nor in the next. So this whole chapter is called Transcendental Knowledge. And with that transcendental knowledge, one can transcend the ocean of material suffering and go back to Godhead. And this this knowledge which we are given by Krishna is transcendental because it's coming from a transcendental source, or a pure source. And to understand things which we do not have the instruments with this material body to understand, like things of spiritual nature, then we have to hear from a proper source from it. Of course, we're hearing from a proper source, even things that are perceivable with our senses. There's a Sanskrit term, aparoksha, which means things which are perceivable, and aparoksha, paroksha, things which are not perceivable. I might have gotten those two mixed up. But anyway, the point is that Krishna, he can reveal through Guru Sadhu Shastra things which are not perceivable by us in our conditioned state of existence. And so he does that through Guru Sadhu Shastra, particularly revealed scriptures. He reveals himself through scriptures. We know from the history of the Vedic knowledge, this history of the world, you could say, that Vyasadeva is a literary incarnation of God, of Krishna, who has compiled all the Vedas, and even written the Vedas, compiled for our benefit. And we can have faith in that these are coming from authoritative source. And how do we have faith in it? Well, we have things which are perceivable that can give us some faith, like people that follow this knowledge, people that follow these practices, people that worship Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. What are they like? What do they say is the truth? They're all saying that this is real revelation. This is real knowledge coming from the Supreme Absolute Truth. They're from the disciplic succession. They're exactly reiterating the points Krishna is making in the revealed scriptures. So there's so much revealed knowledge we can hear, but there's people like the ignorant and faithless persons who, even after hearing revealed scriptures, even after hearing from Srimad Bhagavatam, which is so directly describing the Bhagavan feature of the Absolute Truth, still they can hear it but not actually accept, and still hold on to their philosophy of oneness, or impersonal philosophy. And these persons are ignorant, faithless, and they could be also they could also be not offensive. They can also be offensive towards the Lord. Like the Mayavadis are considered to be offensive because they don't believe in the person of God. They don't believe in Krishna as actually a person, who he is. So one may think, with this first sentence, out of many standard and authoritative real scriptures, the Bhagavad Gita is the best. One could think, well, that's a little bit fanatical, right? The best. Well, if we look at it objectively, the Bhagavad Gita who is speaking the Bhagavad Gita? Krishna himself in his transcendental form as he appears in this world. And who is he speaking to? One of his confidential devotees, Arjuna, who is very highly learned, very qualified in saintly qualities, character, very dutiful person, just the best of so-called human beings from a material perspective. And what to speak of a spiritual perspective, he's a pure devotee of the Lord. So naturally, when you're dealing with people of those calibers, you're going to get some pretty amazing knowledge. And because Krishna and his devotees are so compassionate, the knowledge which is given in Bhagavad Gita it's not really for the benefit of for them, but for everybody, for all living entities, for all time. And that is the nature of transcendental knowledge, is that it's transcendental. It's beyond the considerations of time, place, circumstance in the material world. It's not dependent on anything mundane. So these principles are real for all time and place, and that's why Krishna, he spoke this science to the sun god. He says many millions of years ago, and now he's speaking the same science, and we'll be speaking the same science 1,000 years from now, 2,000 years from now, 100,000 years from now, in Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, the same knowledge, all time, all place, all circumstances, these principles. That's what's so profound. So, so yes, it's the best. I don't know. I'm not a scholar in other revealed scriptures. I'm not so well versed. I know some of you have knowledge of the Bible, different scriptures. I have some knowledge of them from what I've heard and studied a little bit as a child. But even what you do study and what I have heard, it's very unclear, and as far as I understand, there's not descriptions of the soul, of material nature, very clearly defined knowledge of karma, modes of nature. These topics are not found very clearly, at least clearly in other scriptures. They may be there to some degree, but the Bhagavad Gita, of course, it's 700 verses, but it's so concise, also so clear, so definitive, such knowledge that we really need to understand, to learn how to live in this world. And of course, the essence of Bhagavad Gita is Sarva Dharman Pratyaja Mamekam Sharanam Vraja Aham Tam Sarva Papyo Mokshaya Mima Suchaha. That we simply surrender to Krishna. We give up all of our duties, so-called duties, and just surrender to Krishna. And actually, I read another translation of it, of that verse, somewhere, but Prabhupada also translated it as, I believe it was as like give up all other religions, or that's what Krishna says. Give up all over like duties, just anything you can, think that is the purpose of life. You should give all that up, and this is what the actual purpose of life is. This is what we should actually do. We should actually surrender to Krishna. That's the point that Krishna is making. And how do we do that? Manmana bhava madbhakta. We always think of Krishna, always offer obeisances, worship him, put our faith in Krishna. And that is the essence of Bhagavad Gita. Of course, that is found in other scriptures, but like I said, this other knowledge is not so clearly defined like it is in Bhagavad Gita. So it's objectively true that the Bhagavad Gita is the best. And we see that people that follow the teachings of Bhagavad Gita as they are, they become the most saintly people in the world. Yes, Guru Maharaj?
We're going to read from Bhagavad Gita chapter 5, text 7. One who works in devotion, who is a pure soul, and who controls his mind and senses, is dear to everyone, and everyone is dear to him. Though always working, such a man is never entangled.
When Srila Prabhupada was beginning his movement in India, he started with his Western disciples, mostly Americans, and some Europeans. And he kept telling people that they have no business in politics. They're not here because of some political need or anything else. They're not even involved in social work or altruistic work. They're interested simply in serving Krishna. And if they do that, then they won't cause any problem. No one should have any objection. And it's true. That's what India was looking for. India thought that these people might be working for the CIA. So then they were disturbed. But when it became clear that the CIA doesn't chant 16 rounds a day and follow the four regular principles, put on tilak and all these devotional, get up at 4 in the morning, he would ask the people, say, do you know any CIA members like that? So he proved, in other words, proved that they were different. They had no other motive other than just to serve Krishna. And that's why they're the best friends, because they're on nobody's side. They don't take sides if there's some quarrel. They don't take sides in Vrindavan when the 6 Goswamis were living there. They were so dear to the people of Vrindavan and so highly trusted that families and individuals would go to them and ask them to, if there was some debate between them or some quarrel, they would go to the Goswamis and ask them, please will you settle it for us? And as they said, both sides said, if you hear about our situation, whatever you decide, we accept. That's how much faith people had in their neutrality. Generally we'd say, well, no, I only trust him if he makes decisions in my favor. But when you meet pure devotees like that, you can trust that they'll always say the thing that's fair, the thing that's, because how? Because they're being guided by Krishna. And Krishna is the supreme judge. He's the supreme authority on what is right, what is wrong, what is this, what is that. And the devotee is acting as his trusted representative. He's sent to a particular place. That devotee is sent by Krishna to act as Krishna's representative in that place and supply everything they need. He'll give them knowledge, he'll give them good advice on how to keep healthy, good advice on how to improve their economic situation. It's all done in one thing because everything that Krishna says is good for everyone. If Krishna was not able to do good things for everyone, how could he be God? That means every single thing that Krishna does, every word he speaks, is for the benefit of every living entity, without any prejudice or taking sides. And similarly, that's how the devotees are. Ti radhi arjuna priyopiyakaro, matsuro pujito. This is a description of the six Goswamis. They're not envious of anyone, therefore they can be dear to everyone. They have nothing to gain, they have nothing to get from anyone. They won't give a decision based on political right or wrong, social, what the public wants to hear. They'll tell the truth, what should be done, and then they leave the rest up to Krishna. They don't claim to be the controllers. They say what should be done, and if people accept it, that's very nice. If not, it's okay, they go on with their business. They're not attached to the results. These are a few reasons why the devotees are dear to everyone, and everyone is dear to them. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Guru Maharaj. Yeah, I was just hearing today that further on this point that Krishna has no enemies because he is doesn't have anything to gain or to lose from somebody, from people. So therefore, he is doesn't treat anybody as an enemy or as a friend. And similarly, as we're hearing, the devotees have the same quality, that they don't have anything to gain or lose from anybody. Therefore, they can be equipoise or equal to all. And yeah, I was just thinking about that more, that if I have something to gain, like as we were hearing from ours, that in the political field, one is wanting to gain their influence, and so then there's enemies, and so they have to make a distinction that if I'm with these friends, these people, this party, then I can get influence. And so then they see friends, and then you have something to lose from somebody. Another party might be trying to take away your influence or improve their influence above yours. So then you have something to lose from them. So then they become your enemy. So this is all based on, accumulation of material opulence in this world. Whereas the devotee is not, and Krishna is not interested in anything mundane. And the devotee goes on performing their devotional service, and for them, they're situated, they're self-satisfied in their service to Krishna, so they don't need anybody else really to advance. Like, we don't need things from people to advance. Of course, in our conditioned state, it may seem like that. Like, okay, I need this person's appreciation for a class I give, or the Harinam that the chanting that I do, or the books I distribute. I need their appreciation, or I need their money, so I have something to gain or lose from them. If they don't give us a donation, then they become our enemy or something. Of course, that's an extreme case, but meaning that they become an unfavorable person. But devotional service is all auspicious, so the act itself is the service. It's not necessarily the result. The result is up to Krishna, as we know. So therefore, we just perform our service, give up attachment to the results, and then we can see everybody equally. And we can appreciate everybody because everybody's a eternal part and parcel of Krishna. So if they gave us a donation, if they don't, if they, if they criticize us for this or that, doesn't necessarily matter so much to us personally. Of course, we want to have our organization have a nice image, so then we might have to use some counter attack on certain criticisms or insults to this Krishna consciousness movement. But per personal, nobody is the enemy, and that's why Prahlad Maharaj couldn't listen to Shanda and Amarka, right? Because they were trying to teach him about politics, and they were saying, this is your friend, this is your enemy, and he was saying, I don't see anybody as my enemy. That this isn't actually a it's not actually a reality. It's not actually a proper principle to live by. So he rejected, and so that's the qualities of a devotee. So are there any comments or questions on these points? Because I was going to go back to what we were discussing before 40th verse, but it's pretty much what I was pretty much finished what I was discussing, except for maybe one small point about the doubting soul, happiness neither in this world nor the next. So the revealed scriptures, they give us, and specifically Bhagavad Gita is giving all of us how to live happy in this world, how to live happy in the next world. So we have to have some long-term vision, not just what can I get pleasure out of in this life, and then okay, maybe I'll go to heaven in my next life, or not. I don't know, but people generally have that conception that okay, I'll just be a good person in my own moral compass, and then I'll be fine in my next life, which is ignorance. But so for us hearing this Bhagavad Gita, what Krishna says in the 3rd chapter, that perform yajna, be happy in this world, and then you'll go back to me. You'll go back to Godhead in your next life. So that is what we do. We serve Krishna in this life, we perform sacrifice, and then we will be happy in our next life. We can go back to Godhead. But for one who is doubtful, who doesn't actually inquire to relieve one's doubts, but just doubts for the sake of doubting, or may have doubts because of material desires, then one's faith one's faith is compromised, and one does not have faith, so then they cannot actually attain the happiness in this world and the next. So there's people that have doubts of the scriptures, so they don't follow. There's people that have doubts of the scriptures, but they do follow, but they're not getting their doubts relieved. So then there is hindrances on their path of devotional service. And there's people that are relieving their doubts. They're not doubt, or they may not be doubtful, and then they're happy in this world and the next. So this knowledge is meant to free us from misconceptions of the self and in relation to Krishna, and then we can be happy in this world and in the next as well. So doubting is a sign of intelligence, Srila Prabhupada says, and but to really be intelligent, one has to inquire from the spiritual master to relieve one's doubts and misconceptions about spiritual life. Okay, are there any comments or questions on these points? I can't hear.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now, yeah. A little bit.
I just had a
I'm sorry, I can't hear you. You might have to get a little closer to the mic on the computer.
reflection. Is that okay? Can you hear me now? Hare
It's
Krishna.
it's not very loud. When you were pretty close, I could hear pretty good.
Hare Krishna. Is that better?
Uh, it's actually not better. No.
Okay. I'll just say.
I heard Bhakta Gio laugh.
Okay. Sure. Okay. I just wanted to. He's gonna translate.
I heard that.
Okay. I just wanted to share a
Okay.
reflection.
Yeah, I
Okay.
can hear you now. Yeah.
So I said that. So I wanted to repeat that you pretty much were saying that Bhagavad Gita is the best, and I agree. Because of the transcendental knowledge that's not conditioned by time, place, or circumstance. Although, like, there's so much relative knowledge that it doesn't matter. It's finished when the material world is finished. Um, Also, I just wanted to repeat some points that Maharaj had shared. Um, I like that I don't know if I heard correctly, it was a little difficult, but he said something about how, like, we trust the Lord um, when he does something favorable or seemingly favorable to us. The pure devotees, they always think that whatever the Lord does is fair. I really like and whatever the Lord speaks or whatever he does is for the benefit of everyone, even if we might not understand. And I also like that you said that the devotees are always self-satisfied, and so they don't necessarily need anyone else to advance. Um, I like that. Although I know that we need other devotees, but I just like that idea of like learning how to be self-satisfied. So that's all. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. Yeah, we want to be self-satisfied. We want to learn that art because if we don't, then we'll look for satisfaction. We'll look for whatever satisfaction we're lacking in other ways. And since we're conditioned, we'll generally look towards material activities or material conditioning. But yeah, actually, you already clarified, but we do need the mercy of the devotees to advance in Krishna. But at the same time, we're not if we're self-satisfied, then we're not necessarily we're not disturbed when things don't go as we expected or results don't manifest as we think they should. But we're just relying on Krishna and understanding that this is Krishna's plan, this is Krishna's will, this is what is best for me to advance in devotional service. So in that way, we don't necessarily need need others to give us some reciprocation to advance, and if that makes sense. Because like a circumstantial points, like based on circumstances, okay, I can advance if I if the circumstances are like this. But for a devotee, they're just focused on serving Krishna and satisfied in that service. And that service is not, the criteria is not what results are coming from it, but simply that the service is being rendered for Krishna's pleasure. Magadhar, you had a comment? It says on the chat, MG comment.
Yeah, actually, I was reading earlier today, and I was reading in chapter 17 about faith, and Prabhupada writes in the purport, he says, where was it? He was making a point about association, that, where is it now? I'm trying to find it. Sorry, wait up. Basically, it was saying that, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said, this is from chapter 17, text 26, purport. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said that the transcendental subject matter becomes clear in the association of the devotees. Without good association, one cannot achieve transcendental knowledge. So I just wanted to add that to the mix.
That was 1720. What was it? 7?
Yeah, 1726 purport.
Okay. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. Yeah, it's important to have devotee association. Thank you all for tuning in. Sorry if I was a late. Time differences, it's different, so took a little time to get ready. But things are going nice here. Gita Nagari, there's nice devotees here. It's nice transcendental atmosphere, and yeah, it's nice sangha here. So the transcendental, as Magadhar said, the transcendental subject matter is becoming clear since there's devotee association here. Okay, so thank you all, and hope you guys have a nice week, and I'll see you all in a few days. Hare Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna.